Hello, everyone. Today we have Cody Bramlett from Supplement Millionaire. How are you doing today, Cody?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. That's great to hear. So today we're here to talk about a new way to generate revenue for some of you folks, and it's basically relies on the supplement industry, which is a huge industry. It's been growing even more since the pandemic, and it's just nonstop. People need all sorts of health medications, health supplements, and so yeah, it's a growing industry, and so now is an ideal time to get involved with it. And Cody is the guy to help you do that, and he can help you launch your own supplement brand. And also, once you launch it, what we're going to do today is talk about once you launch your brand, getting the higher average order values, which obviously means more money for you. And so, yeah, starting off really quick, Cody, can you tell us what Supplement Millionaire is?
Yeah, definitely. Tony, thank you again for having me. Supplement Millionaire basically is the trials and tribulations of my career. The millions of dollars of mistakes I've made summarized into videos, education, knowledge, and basically helping someone accelerate their launching of a business, scaling up of their supplement business, or even further, taking it to that 8 and 9 figure size of a business by creating a very large team. And basically, over the years, when I launched in 2016 till now, I've had massive wins. I've worked myself into the ground. I've had huge losses, and I've made gigantic mistakes. And I want to make sure that people do not make the same mistakes that I do. I've been involved in many coaching programs in my life, and I didn't really enjoy how they were run. I really wanted to make sure that this was basically me sharing every single thing we do in our industry, our business, to create an 8-figure supplement brand, to be able to help people figure out how to launch their offer, scale their offer, and of course, go big if they have that ability to do so.
Excellent. And then in terms of what types of entrepreneurs work with Supplement Millionaire and join your initiative, is there a certain skill set required, or like what types of people do you work with?
Yeah, so it's interesting to say that. I just recently, yesterday, had a very angry, upset customer quit on me, and it's funny because we've been waiting for this guy to quit for about 6 months now. So it definitely does take a mindset and a personality that wants to be in the direct marketing space, right? But that's what we do. We do direct marketing. We help people understand how to create long-form sales pages, long-form VSLs, the upsell sequences, downsell pages to be able to achieve that $200 AOV you talked about. And we're looking for people who actually have that drive, that do not want to stop until they win. Now, winning for some people is $100 million company. Winning for other people is having $300,000 in sales. It just depends on where you are as a person, establishing your goals and reaching out and getting for it. So we help people who are completely new and starting out. We help people who have existing offers that are trying to get them to functionally work better and start getting more affiliates to promote them. And then we help people who are in the multi-million dollar range fine tune and start to hire their staff and build systems and teams. And then we also help people with the larger, 8-figure companies who are looking to really systematize it and really step back and become a CEO and really have a COO and a CFO and a marketing manager and really develop a real company. So we're really basically helping every step of the way, because I've been there, and there's a different answer for each step of the way. There's a different software to use each step of the way. There's a different idea and goals you'd have each step of the way. And I want to make sure that people entering this industry know what that step is for them, so they're not doing things they're not trying to play in the major leagues when they should be in the farm.
For sure. And do you feel that is kind of the experience, and what you've gone through is kind of the main reason why people go with Supplement Millionaire over your competition?
I mean, I don't know, we have any competition, right? A lot of people out there have coaching programs and marketing groups and masterminds that will feed you really cool stuff and take you out to eat and give you booze and a live show and some fun stuff at an event, which can be great, motivational, and you can make great connections in those places. And by all means, I've been a part of them, and I wouldn't do it again. But we're really focused about getting the work done, right? And showing you how to get the work done and who to work with. Because out there, wanting to choose the right software for tracking, right? Everflow is the answer. Bam, there's no other solution besides that. Yes, you can use systems like ClickMake and BuyGoods that have their own, but if you layer in Everflow, you have a whole host of more information. If you're doing your own thing on the high end, you can of course use Everflow, and that's what we use, and it's phenomenal for helping things work. So there's a different step in a different piece that needs to be used for each person along the way. And we want to make sure people understand that, and that we're working with people who understand that there is a journey that it is a real company and does require real hours and real effort, and they actually want to create that and win.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because there's so many things. When I started in the affiliate industry, there's so many businesses that are kind of advertising this system to kind of get rich quick. It's like, here's my strategy on how I made all this money, and it's like exploiting this one type of ad unit, like doing this one type of thing, and it seems like you're more invested in long-term success, which I think is ideally the more stable way to go in the performance marketing industry.
100%. I mean, my first year, I'll tell you right now, I made $286,000 taxable dollars. That was my first year. We did almost $3 million in sales. So 10%. That's what it was. I've made so many mistakes that year. It should have been 2 or 3 times that in terms of actual profit. And I want to make sure people don't make those mistakes and actually hire right, take the right steps, focus on the right thing. Don't do the shiny object chasing, which is the huge problem for entrepreneurs. And I really want to also help the industry and help individuals step out of that hustle and entrepreneur position and think like a CEO. Because if I thought like a CEO from day one, I probably would have taken twice as long to get going, but I would have not made any of the mistakes I made afterwards.
No, that's fantastic. That's definitely the mindset, even beyond supplement industry, that I think affiliates should take, as far as it's thinking long term, thinking big picture, and thinking strategic, because it is a business. It's not a it's even though you're online, you may not have an office, which most people don't these days. You don't have that. You're kind of your own person, but it is still a business at the end of the day.
Yes, 100%.
Awesome. And so, in terms of diving in kind of the subject today, so why are supplements, do you feel, such strong products for affiliate marketing?
Definitely. So supplements are really a great tool because you're able to generate a lot of revenue per customer fairly easily. So as we know in direct marketing and the idea of marketing, you create a sales page. The sales page has a long form story that's, you want someone to know, like, and trust you in one sitting, so you can get a 1 to 2% conversion rate. That is achievably done fairly easily. You need to work with the right copywriters, which of course I refer to. You need to make sure you have the right designs and video stuff done, which of course I understand, and have templates and ideas and things for people to copy and mimic. And with the idea of the supplements, customers have a high perceived value of what they are, because they're fairly expensive everywhere you go. Outside of CVS and Walmart, you're gonna be spending $29 for a 30 to 60 day supply of something. And that's just at the store without being sold on anything, walking by and seeing omega-3 on a shelf, right? So what we're doing in the direct marketing world is, of course, explaining why this particular version of a supplement is so much better, explaining the story and benefits that it goes through and how it's going to change the customer's life, and then giving them the ability to spend. Now, if you did this whole process with, let's say, a workout program, I used to own a gym. I was obsessed with kettlebells. I had a kettlebell gym. I loved teaching that stuff. But there's so many fitness things out there that are free. There's so much knowledge out there that's easily accessible, mostly wrong and not correct for end consumers to consume. But people do not find value in that. So you have to sell it for like $7 or $10. How the hell, excuse my language, can you get traffic when you're only making $10, maybe $30 on the back end per customer to achieve that customer? You can't get it on Facebook. You can't get it on TikTok. You can't get it with affiliates, because they're demanding $50, $60, $80, $100, $120, $150 commissions or CPAs per sale. So the supplements have the high perceived value, allow you to achieve that $200 plus AOV, which means you're profiting $120, $140 per order. So you can actually pay the commission to get the customer, to then remarket to them again and make more money as your company grows.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's almost like you're ensuring that you can keep the business running. You're ensuring that you can have the cash flow to continue, versus like a media buy where you're just kind of stuck, or some sort of short-term gain. So that makes a ton of sense. And in terms of supplements being promoted by affiliate marketing today, like what are like the most popular types that are being promoted right now?
Definitely. So the major things, right? Think about, if you want to know what to sell in terms of supplements, go talk to your parents. What do you wish you could solve right now? I want to lose weight. I want to feel better. I want to have more energy. I want to have more focus, and I want to have more energy to go play with the grandkids, right? So if you're solving something that touches that environment, you're solving a major problem. Now, can you niche down from that? Heck yes. And I encourage people to do that. You'll be touching a smaller audience, but you'll be establishing yourself as a credible expert in low back pain, right? Or, foot pain or knee pain or diet for women in menopause, or, that kind of niche. So solving the major problem and then niching down allows you to kind of carve out your segment in the industry and be known for something, to be able to create your little miniature empire amongst the multi-billion dollars of supplements that are sold every year.
That makes sense for sure. And that's also something that I think those issues and what you're striving for health-wise, they don't change. Whether that's the pandemic or whether that's any sort of outside financial situations going on. People are always going to have these kind of needs. So yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And in terms of, I know that you kind of likely go with whatever is most effective for the niche and the individual, but generally, are there specific traffic types which do the best with supplements?
Definitely. So what we teach and help people understand is how to get traffic as low cost as possible. So for example, if you're listening right now and you are a traffic person, you drive traffic to offers, right? You are good at that traffic source. You may want to mimic the offers that you are crushing it with, right? If you are starting out with your idea, so let's say Tony came to me, you're like, Cody, I want to do a weight loss for men because they want to make their butt smaller. I'm like, okay, cool. You'd want to target people that have specific traffic for men and have customers that have already purchased men's products. So you go out there in the affiliate world and you shake hands at conferences and dinners and through networking events online and say, I have a men's offer that helps men lose weight the specific way. And those who have particular lists in that aspect will want to work with you. And the cool part about that niche versus like working with a cold traffic person or, just listing yourself on ClickBank and calling it a day is you're building a connection with someone. And whether that offer does good or bad, you've built a connection, hopefully positive, that you then can nurture and go back to over time. Right now, we have 400 affiliates in the email marketing space, meaning they have developed their own products, their own email lists, and then they market other products to that email list. And then among that 400 some odd affiliates we have worked with over the years, about 60 or so, 70 or so a month promote our products. So we really encourage people to work into those networks and develop those relationships because they are tried and true. You don't have to prepay. It's all about relationships and working with people and creating those friendships, because once things work and you have that bond with somebody, they'll promote you even if you're not an A-list offer, as long as it's going to meet their somewhat close to their metrics. They'll continue to promote because they like you as a person and they want to help you on your mission, as well as make money by sharing something unique with their customers.
Yeah, that's really interesting. You mentioned that, because I think that's also part of the kind of hidden value of networking. I mean, sure, when you're at a conference or you're out somewhere and you can talk to people and maybe you'll get a tip on like a different type of offer that's available, or maybe you'll get you'll learn a certain new technique or something for promotion. But just staying top of mind, I think, is huge with any kind of networking thing. And if you can network with the right group of people and just be there in case there's, they need something or they're looking for a new type of offer and you have that, I think that's fantastic. And I think that's something that is definitely overlooked. It's all, about building a partnership, and we're definitely big on that at Everflow too as well.
Exactly. I mean, I think back when I was first entered the industry, there was people out there like, my brother, he started out this industry too. He was writing articles for people, fitness articles, because he was building that relationship with the affiliate. So not even asking to promote his offer, he's like, can I write you a blog post? Like those kinds of connections. It's not even always about money. It's just about building that relationship. So that way, over time, people are willing to promote you and work with you. And I think it's absolutely phenomenal to do that.
Yeah, for sure. That's fantastic. And so kind of circling back to before, when you were talking about when you got started and, you went through the ebbs and flows of and many mistakes which you wish you could take back in terms of launching everything. What types of mistakes do you think most affiliates will make or are likely to make if they don't have guidance by someone like yourself when launching their own supplement brand?
Definitely. So we start out with the entrepreneurial hustle mindset. I can do it all. I can work it all. I can make it happen. And the answer is you cannot. It's impossible. You're a liar, and you're either damn lucky and it's going to implode, or it won't ever work again, because it's you need a team. Right now, I have over 40 people internationally. I think 12 in North America and the rest in the Philippines, to be able to help make the company work and do what it does. Now, do I have a heavier team than most people than I probably need? Yes, but that's how I prefer to live my life and work with my team. So the biggest mistakes that I think people make at the beginning is chasing shiny objects. You make one offer work okay. They're like, oh, cool, I can do that again. Now, I did this. Great example. I launched a turmeric offer. I revitalized it, changed it to a different offer, revitalized, changed a different offer. And I'm like, you know what? I've made this work 3 times now. I'm so great at this. I'm going to do a skincare offer. It didn't work at all. I wasted $30,000 in inventory. Now, have we learned lessons from that and are applying to our future? Yes, but that was a huge mistake. I did the same thing too with a dog brand. I didn't know how to get traffic. I built a really cool offer. I got a really great product, but I had no clue how to get customers. Like, I thought it would just happen because this one happened. No. So the key to it all is making sure that you define your niche, build an offer that works, continually improve that offer, because that first turmeric offer, if I would have kept improving it, I could have had an over $200 AOV. My AOV was like 160, 170. I mean, a $200 AOV would have been $30, $40 more. I would have made millions extra if I would have improved upon that. But I didn't have the systems or understanding of how to measure what I didn't understand what was good. I had nothing to actually compare to. So making sure you're part of a group where you can learn those things is absolutely key. Then after that, it's how to hire and build a team. So like I said, I made $269,000 that first year. I should have taken half of that and hired 2 people. I didn't. I did it all myself. And the next year, I just got more stressed and more stressed and more stressed. So it's about hiring VAs, operation managers, smart CFO accountants that are part-time. And then, of course, affiliate managers if you don't know how to do that, or operations people if you're not an operations person. So building out your team should have been my first focus, where I shouldn't have been like, I'm buying a truck and lifting it and going on 4 vacations and buying a house and doing all this cool. I'm putting solar on my roof and a battery and a new pool. Like, I shouldn't have done those things.
Yep. Yeah, and that's awesome. You said all that, because I think that there is this mindset where, I'm hustling, I got some success. Okay, now what's next? I'll just do this thing because it seems like it's the next logical step, or I'll just move here. And it's not, there's such a culture in that, in affiliate marketing, where it's just like you keep going bigger. And as long as you're working, 18 hours a day or something, but that doesn't matter, because you're constantly hustling and you're constantly trying to move things around. And I think that, like you mentioned, in terms of actually taking the time and being smart about it, and learning from people that know. And that's the only way with any job, that's the only way to kind of learn is to either experience it or talk to people that have done it before.
Exactly. And being a part of people who understand that they're not out for the quick dollar. Like, this is a business. It requires a lot of effort, a lot of structure. Beginning, you can do it yourself, of course, but you have to have that goal that I want to be a CEO and I want to have $1 million company. I want to have staff. I want to make my life easier. I don't work 20 hours a week. I maybe work 15, right? And that's the kind of goal you kind of have to get to there. Because like you said earlier, working 18 hours a day, I used to do that. I was a burnout. My wife hated me. Couldn't do anything. I just worked all the time, all day, all night. Would leave my computer. It's not a fun way to live. And we want to make sure that we're not making that life, that you're living life for life's sake. We only get one.
Yeah. The burnout can happen very quickly. And I don't think it's talked about a lot in the industry, in terms of like, you're having success and you have these short-term gains, but you're not living a healthy life, and you're not, you can't sustain it. So yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And kind of moving into, getting started. So you mentioned like having a team, and kind of learning from people and investing in the knowledge that you've learned, and putting it back into the business. But what types of like basic components does someone need to launch their own supplement brand?
Definitely. So let's look at this from 2 perspectives. Let's say you have, there's a person who knows nothing, and there's a person who is, let's say I drive traffic via Facebook, or I'm an affiliate manager for another company. So who understands the industry in one piece of it. So what's needed to actually create a company is 3 aspects. You need your marketing, your copy, you need your sales, and you need your operations. So if you are the salesperson, the affiliate manager, you have your traffic, boom, you have that piece dialed in. You don't have to think about that. If you're new, you have to worry about all three. So let's talk about creating the offer first. So creating the offer first has coming up with the initial idea. What am I solving? Is it a blood sugar offer? Is it a weight loss offer? Is it a generic supplement offer? Is it a women's health offer, right? Whatever it is, choosing your niche, picking the offer. Then from there, you need to find a product that is going to fit. Now, there's multiple suppliers out there that have hundreds of white label products, and our favorite supplier that we've referred a lot of people to, they actually can do custom on demand. So if you have a product that's something you want to do special or has an extra ingredient in a blood sugar offer that no one's ever used before, they can add that ingredient to one of their formulas and make it on demand. So you don't have to buy inventory, so that's good. So you have your product figured out what you want to sell. From there, it's choosing the copywriter to work with. Now, if you're a copywriter listening right now and you're like, I know nothing about sales and operations, but I know copy, cool, you write the copy. Otherwise, if you're not a copywriter, you hire. Now, good copy will cost you $20,000 to $25,000. That kind of copy is basically B+ copy, maybe A- copy, which will allow you to start immediately. And your first test send, you're going to get 2 or 3 sales. You may be looking for 6 to 8 on that type of traffic source or amount of traffic you're getting, but you have something that worked, and you can look at heat maps on the page and how people interact with the page, where they drop off, to then determine how to modify and change that. Because sometimes it just takes a couple headlines or a slight rejiggering of the sales closing section to be able to get an offer to start converting correctly. Once you have an offer that converts correctly, then you focus on the back end, because you need upsells and downsells, of course, and of other cross-sell products. And you perfect those so that way you can take your AOV, let's say the AOV in the front's 120, 140, to get your AOV to 200. So you've created the funnel, you have a traffic source because you know traffic, or you've developed relationships with affiliates, you hired a copywriter, or you are a copywriter to do that part of the work. And now it leaves on you to determine what your job is. Are you the operations person or the salesperson? Because the copy's more or less done. You may have a call once every 2 weeks with your copywriter to figure out how to improve upon it and looking at stats, but it's determining which role you are and which one you can hire out first. Obviously, if you're starting out, sales matter a ton and you have to kind of just force operations to happen. If you're a salesperson, you keep that role. If you're an operations person, you hire out the sales so you can continue doing your operations. And that's kind of the starting process in there to make it work. Now, in between, maybe God, there's designing the sales page design, there's naming the product, there's doing the labels of the product to make sure it's all cohesive and it works together. There's, of course, all the back-end software setting up, making sure you're hooked up with Everflow, ClickBank, Buy Goods, those kinds of systems, because you shouldn't be running your own credit card processing day one. You need to be using these affiliate-based systems that are easy to use, where affiliates get paid automatically. Setting up all those things, making sure you have an email campaigns, thank you campaigns set up so that way people are getting some emails from you directly after. We don't worry about marketing to people till we have about 1,000 emails in our list of customers. All those kinds of things are important in the process for actually developing the offer. And I think the best important part of all is understanding then what role you want to be once the offer's live and functioning.
Yeah, that I think that makes a ton of sense. There is as far as back in the old school days of affiliate marketing, there was always this kind of always a big question for people was like, well, what should I do? Like, should I do paid search? Should I be an SEO affiliate? Should I do pay per call? Like, what should I do? And so it always came back. I'd always give people the advice that you want to do what you. First of all, something you're interested in, something that there's a purpose to, and that you're going to be invested in, and then also to use whatever techniques that you have in your own professional skill set. So if you're a copywriter, like you said, that's the part you want to do in this, or say you're good at media buying, then that's the part you want to do as well. So knowing having interest in actually knowing knowing yourself and not trying to think you can do it all, which is kind of how most people feel that these programs should go these days.
Yeah, and we also want to try and distance our brains from people like Elon Musk, who claims he can do everything and does everything, because he doesn't. He's one person. He has entire teams and staff that does stuff, and you have to understand that it's just smoke and mirrors, not real, and you have to start thinking about reality and how to actually build the company so that way it can function long term. Because you can do well for a year or two, but you burn out.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. And I know you earlier you were talking about kind of networking and finding the right types of partners to work with and the right affiliates to work with. So, obviously if they have experience and you've seen what they've done, then, that's great. But if you are meeting with someone for the first time, or you're kind of hearing someone, so you meet them at a conference, or you meet them in some group or something, and they say, oh yeah, I'm really good at driving traffic. I've worked with different supplement brands. Is there any way that you'd maybe recommend to vet them, or how you can kind of tell who's sort of doing things properly?
Exactly. So that's always a key, is making able to make sure that you understand and you're working with an affiliate that actually is real. So one of the biggest mistake I made was that I was on a platform when I first launched my offer, and I just opened up the offer to anybody. I was like, oh, I'm doing so well. We're bringing like 300K a month in. I'm going to just like open up to anybody. Within a month, I had someone drive 25,000 clicks to my offer. That was all spam. We got put on Spam House, McAfee, all the different things, and my IP and my domain were blacklisted because, of course, I didn't set up redundancies. Stupid me. And that was a huge mistake. So we make sure now every single person, we have to physically have been referred to them, someone else say, yeah, they're good, or have a call with someone before you promote them. So how do you do that when you're brand new? So a good example, I have a close friend, they're going to start the industry and they know nothing. So how do you get involved? You join a group which has people. So Supplement Millionaire has over 50 different companies. You join there. You can make friends with 50 different companies who have customers who can promote. Not everyone will have giant email lists, but it doesn't matter. The goal is, of course, to build networks and relationships, because everyone will grow over time. And someone who's nobody today will be a huge somebody tomorrow. I have countless numbers of people who I thought would never make it and are way more successful than me. And so the key is to be a part of those groups. And then, of course, you get invited to events. Hey, there's Affiliate Summit East, Affiliate Summit West, Traffic and Conversion, a Supplement Millionaire event, a Traffic Tribe event, Mimosa, whatever it is, right? You go to them and you shake hands and you kiss babies. That's my favorite saying. You go around and what's your job? You shake hands and kiss babies. You make friends with everybody. You follow up with everybody. You make sure they don't forget you. One of my coaching clients, he's went to Greece, and he before a big event, and I said, get a bunch of stuff from Greece, like little knickknacks that you get like at the airport. And so he had like a creek, like rose water or something like that, or perfumes, some kind of thing. And he gave it to everybody at the event, and everyone talked about him, right? So you're creating that connection and letting people remember you. And then when he reached out to them, hey, I got my offer, can you promote it? Sure, I like that person, right? So it's about building those relationships by starting out in the masterminds and the coaching groups, and then going to the events live and making sure that they know, like, and trust you. You can do all that before you launch your offer too. If you can have 20, 30, 40 people know you and want to promote you as soon as your offer's live, that's awesome. I have most people in the group right now that are just about to launch, but they've been doing this in the group for 6 months, and they already have friends, and they've already had dinner meetings with people and meetups and at our different events, and they're able to call upon them to help test the offer, to get data to know how to improve it. So it's important to shake hands and kiss babies.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think you touched on a very important thing, as far as like getting, you get the internal kind of vetting from a group, and you get the, you can reference who this person is, you can check on them, and also to meeting a person is always great as well. You get a much broader sense of who they are and kind of their general vibe. So yeah, I think that is definitely a smart way to go about it, and kind of cuts down with like the traditional thing with affiliates, where it's kind of like you meet somebody and they're just like, oh yeah, I'm the best at this. Everybody's always the best. And you don't know until it may be too late. And so, yeah, that's a great strategy that you recommend. Yeah. In terms of kind of, getting started. So like, once you have your affiliates in place, and once you have your, how you want to do it, and you have a niche and you're ready to go and you launch, what steps would you recommend for, I know we don't want to get into the get rich quick type stuff, but what steps would you recommend for somebody to get off to like a faster start?
Definitely. So the first thing is making sure you're testing right. So it's build the offer, test the offer. By the way, people who are in Supplement Millionaire, we have like 20, 25 testing slots each month that we give to our clients. So on all our email lists, we will test select a number of offers each month to give people tons of data. So first off, it's testing to understand stuff. I teach people how to review heat maps and understand it, and be able to understand what needs to be perfected on their page to be able to get the conversion rate to be higher. After you do that, and you have your group of affiliates that can start promoting it, and let's say it's converting at 1.5%, you're paying out $80, $100 commission. You're making $10, $20 per an order there. From there, it's getting the offer in as many hands as possible, getting as many people to be a part of promoting you. So it's like for example, so let's say, Tony, you have an offer, you're driving it, and I just talked to you. I'm like, hey, Tony, the drop did great. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. You made $2,000. You told me earlier your goal is $1,500. So I hope you're pumped on that. Hey, do you have anybody else you think that this offer might work well for? I'd love to make some more people money. That right there will get you 2 or 3 referrals. That is one of the easiest things that people do not do when you're able to impress someone and do something well for them, is to just say, hey, can I help anybody else? And so that's one of the easiest ways to start developing and getting more and more traffic. Once you have built up, and let's say you're doing $200,000 a month, $300,000 a month in sales, it's really about perfecting the offer. So this goes back to the AOV. Let's say your offer is at $180. It needs to be higher because you may be making $10, $5 an order. How do you get it over 200 so you're making 20, 25, $30 an order profit after everything's all said and done? It's using the heat maps. It's using metrics, being able to understand what step in the funnel has the problem. What page should you be mimicking to try and replicate success someone else has? And being in these coaching groups allows you to bring your stats up and ask the questions to be able to understand, oh, my upsell 1 is terrible. I should be mimicking these 2 upsell pages and testing them against it. Because the upsells are where you're going to generate the most of your profit additions over time. And then, of course, you have to still keep your conversion rates up, but usually that stays strong for the first 6 months of an offer.
Interesting. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned you basically kind of going through and leaning back on your network there, as far as like the Supplement Millionaire mastermind goes. That's very interesting because, yeah, you're kind of tying into this knowledge and getting support as you grow, which the amount of resources are really not out there, I don't think, in terms of like, unless you're doing it firsthand or you've done it before.
Exactly. And then I would say too, what really could supercharge people, what really is to bring in the real money is your email list. So at first you're developing customers. Like I said, you're making $5, $10, $15 a customer. Cool. Maybe it's a little more. Cool. The real money is in that email list. Once you have 1,000 customers, it's learning how to properly send emails out without hurting the reputation of your IP or domain. Lots of list managers don't pay attention to that, and they just ruin lists. So be cautious of who manages your email list. We even started a small email coaching group within Supplement Millionaire. For those who want to run their own email list or don't have a big enough email list, you can actually learn from an expert in our group to be able to improve your email list. But that's where the revenue's at. That's where the profit's at. So a good example is last month we did around 260,000 in revenue or profit from our email list. It's just profit, right? Whereas we only brought in about $80,000 in profit from supplements. So there's a wild difference in terms of profitability and where it comes from. And that comes from time and also getting customers quickly. So if you can, by the way, too, if you start out and you can pay an affiliate more money to get more customers in a shorter period of time, you can build that email list up much faster to make more money on that at a quicker rate. So it's how to accelerate and go fast. It's really to try and understand the ratio of how much money you make on a sale of a customer versus how many customers you can get and how much you can make on the back end with the email list.
Yeah, that's a very strong point. I think a lot of these, you see a lot of people think, oh, I want to get into email and I want to just, I'll buy this list and I'm just going to set it and, see what happens. And it's all about relationships. It's all about the long term. And like you were mentioning before, it's all about kind of thinking like a CEO versus somebody who's just an individual, an individual marketer. It's all about kind of building your business long term. So that's a great tip for sustainability. And you mentioned metrics a second ago. Are there any specific metrics beyond just the obvious of like revenue that you want to pay attention to that maybe you can use to kind of grow your brand?
Short answer is all of them. So we measure for each brand, each offer, each affiliate or traffic source, the revenue, the sales tax, the cost of goods, the affiliate commission payout, the CPA, the shipping costs, the refunds and chargebacks. And then from that, we decipher the numbers out to look at average order value, profit per order after you pay out all the debts, operational profit, which is commission and profit together to know what you could pay out in total. And then we look at that on a per order basis. And from there, we're using that information to then measure and score our different offers, whether the offer is a strong offer, a weak offer, and then recommending, of course, to the affiliates, hey, this offer is doing okay for you. This one might do better. So we can try and make more money there. Or, of course, using that data to then perfect the offer. Within the offer, too, we're looking at conversion rates on the front end. And then we're looking at the conversion rates of each individual step of the offer and how that affects the average order value and profit. Because if more people take upsell 1, there's a potential that upsell 2 could drop and your profit could flip-flop if there's more profit in the upsell 2 product versus the upsell 1. So we always got to make sure that understand that revenue is not profit. I love the saying, Peter Zemis and I go over it. It's people over profit, profit over revenue.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And you mentioned upsells. I think that's something that is very important to see if you're working with an affiliate or any kind of partner, knowing which ones actually drive upsells versus driving just one-off sales, or even repeat business, because those would be the customers that are going to help you have more long-term success versus kind of just a quick commission here and there.
100%, yes.
Awesome. And then in terms of the main question of the day, so you have your brand going, and things are moving along. You're tuning things in. So in terms of reaching those higher average order values, in this case, we're talking about $200 AOVs. What are 3 ways that you could recommend that somebody could reach those higher AOVs, like $200?
I love what you said, tuning in, right? We're trying to tune that knob to perfection. And a little bit here might break it, go too far, I go back a little bit more, it's perfect. We're trying to dial that into the exact metric. So the first thing we want to look at is your conversion rate on the front end. And our customers taking the 6-bottle or largest package. And I say largest because we've tested 2, 4, 9. We've tested 3, 6, 12. And on certain funnels with certain affiliates, a 3, 6, 12 front end offer does better than a 1, 3, 6. So selling 12 units drives actually more people towards the 6-unit purchase price because they're not getting the biggest package. Most people like the middle package. So The goal is to see how do you get more people to buy. So it's changing the packages to how many units they're selling. Making sure that your upsells and downsells are reflecting the deal they saw or purchased on the front end. So if you did a 3, 6, 12, and then your upsell 1 is 3 units and someone bought 12, why the hell would they buy 3? They just bought 12. You need to shove 6, 9, 12 in front of them again, or something bigger, or a multi-pack of something to make sure they actually are willing to, are more excited to purchase because they are a hyper buyer, right? So it's making sure that it's reflective. A good example is I have a buy 1, get 3 free turmeric deal. Amazing offer. Someone comes in, spends $49 on 1 bottle of turmeric. We give them 3 free. Originally, back in the day when I launched, my upsell 1 was 6 more bottles for $19. When I changed that first upsell to, hey, just buy 1, get 3 free more, the conversion rate almost doubled. So the idea is making sure that it's reflective so the customer feels like they're a part of the same ecosystem and it makes sense. Because if I'm sold on something, you're going to sell me again there every single time. Next thing I think would be in the upsells to test the downsells price anchoring. So on an upsell, we usually do 1 product, a big package. And if we make it very clear with a big no thank you button, if they don't want it, they click the no thank you, they go to a downsell page. And the downsell is very clear. And it usually shows a small package at a similar price as the last page, and then a larger package at an extremely stupid discount. So let's say you sold on the sales page 6 bottles for $39, and then your upsell 1 is 6 bottles for $29. We would do, hey, 3 bottles for $29 or 6 bottles for $15. At that point, how could you say no to 6 bottles at $15? You just paid $39 for it. Just to say yes, what's the risk? There's a huge guarantee on the page. It says guarantee, yes. And so the idea of doing that price anchoring is a huge way to get people to spend more and to get them, of course, to buy larger packages. So I would first look at how many units you can do on the front page, creating a unique offer. It doesn't have to be 1, 3, 6. Maybe it's a 1, 2, buy 3, get 1 free. I don't know, something like that. So you create a unique offer there, reflecting that offer throughout the funnel, and then using price anchoring on downsells is how I would start out. And this, of course, doesn't involve headlines. It doesn't involve major copy tweaks. It just basically involves changing your buy box and the amount of units you put on there. So it's a really simple and fast thing that anyone can implement because you don't have to have any major skill sets. You're just swapping out pictures and prices on pages.
Interesting. Yeah, that's it kind of seems like by doing those things, you're sort of creating this, you're understanding the customer's kind of thought process, and then you're making it easier for them to make a decision. You're
Yes.
kind of saying, hey, you bought this type of product before, you bought this amount, you used your own logic to your own decision making to do this. Here's a way to kind of, this is in your line of thinking. This is in your judgment zone. Like this is definitely what you'd be into because you've done it before. And so that's a very smart thing. And that kind of goes back to building more of a long-term business and building, knowing your customers and knowing the strategy that you want to offer.
Definitely. That's exactly it. I will say one thing too, is once you guys do achieve a good payout, make sure you switch to like a CPA, cost per acquisition, versus a rev share. The reason I say this is because if you want to give an affiliate a payout increase because you've made your AOV higher, and you say, hey, I made my AOV higher because I did a bunch of testing in the back end and I can pay you $5 more, they like you more. If you're doing rev share and they know nothing and you don't communicate with them and you don't say, I'm giving you I made the funnel better, they just know they're making more money now. And then when it stops working, they know they're making less money. So being able to have that communication and being able to give, I think, is key. So make sure you guys think about that too when you are building your offers out, because those relationship building is huge. Little off topic, but I wanted to share that piece.
No, that's great. I think that with the rev share, there's really nothing, there's no communication, and you could say, hey, we're increasing your rev share, but that doesn't really, there's no direct like incentive for them to kind of pay more attention to what they're doing and kind of pay more attention to what you're saying. So like I definitely agree with that. I think that is also kind of ties back to, building those strong relationships, saying, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. You're doing great work. We've improved our funnel. We have this new option. Definitely do that. And by the way, we're going to bump up your commission. So there's room for that. And that's a very similar business practice, in terms of selling something for a profit and knowing how much you can discount it and how much you can kind of dip into that profit margin. And that makes a lot of sense for sure.
Yep.
Awesome. And then in terms of so once you got everything going, everything's dialed in, and everything's running full force and with your new supplement brand, what types of like revenue can someone expect? Like, is there a point where, I guess we'll take it from a perspective of somebody who has, starting out and has really no clue about this, a total beginner, like, is there a specific revenue target that they should be striving for, like when the first, say, like 30 days or 60 days?
Yeah, the goals are to make the traffic source happy, right? So that's the metrics we care about. I mean, obviously we have our own personal metrics. I want to make $100,000, I want to make $1 million, whatever it may be. But the main goal is making sure that your traffic source is pleased with the conversion rate and the payout. So if they're used to, like I said earlier, you're like, Cody, my list does 1,500 and you did 2,000. You're pleased, right? You'll promote that offer again. And the goal is to make sure that you can do what you can in your power to perfect the offer, pay out as much of the profit as you can to make sure that the affiliate wants to promote you again and again and again. Because the goal is to collect the customer, to then sell them more products that are of the same, different cross-sell products, and of course, promote other third-party products to them to make easy money on the email list. So the metric that matters most is the traffic sources happy with the conversion payout that we're currently doing? And a good kind of a storytelling about that is the first turmeric offer I had was a 136. Then it turned into a free plus shipping. And then it turned into a buy one, get three free. And then it turned to a buy one, get four free. And now for whatever freaking reason, buy one, get two free is converting better. So it's constantly evolving that deal structure because we're kind of following what the customers find the most trust and confidence in and are willing to buy.
Yeah, that's a very interesting kind of way to look at it. I think that there is this kind of mindset in the affiliate space where it's like, hey, you want to make this amount in this sort of time, and you want to reach, make as much money as you can. But your way of kind of thinking and breaking it down is basically like the monetary stuff is great, but the main kind of thing you want to look for is that your business is up and running, and it can be scalable. It can be, one thing's working, so you know how to replicate that, and you can do it again. And I think that's a lesson that a lot of affiliate marketers need to hear for sure.
Yes, because too many people think they can just make it all happen without trying very hard or investing very much. Or if they do win, they think they can do it again and again, not realizing that they had a unicorn and they just touched a nerve that worked really well and didn't develop systems and knowledge and understanding about why it actually worked.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so in terms of wrapping up, and thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
How can someone get started with Supplement Millionaire?
Yeah, definitely. So, Supplement Millionaire, we're really trying to match the right person to the right program. We have a digital program. We have a full-on live mastermind that happens once a week. We talk about operations, affiliates, affiliate management, how to get affiliates, and of course, copy marketing and creation. The mastermind, we have people access to our coaches and me all the time. We do Q&As all the time. So you have the accessibility to ask questions. And we, of course, share everything we have with you. And then I also do private coaching for those who are looking to actually build teams and learn how to be a CEO and learn how to stop working your business 80 hours a week and actually step away. So if anybody's interested, you can always go to supplementmillionaire.com. We have a little presentation about what the program actually is and breaks it down. And you can, of course, email me, Cody at supplementmillionaire.com, and I'll be able to answer any questions. And I'll be glad to even jump on a call with you if you got something unique you want to talk about. I'm game. I'm all about helping and growing and seeing if I can assist people, because I want to make this whole industry better. I do quite well in my career. I don't need to do coaching. I do this because I really want to give back and help the next generation. So that way there's just a tide rising of improved people and improved offers and improved companies. And I want to help lead that because I feel it's important.
That's fantastic. And is there anything new from Supplement Millionaire that's coming out that you want to maybe give a shout out to?
Yeah, I guess the email coaching thing I talked about a second ago, that's launching June 6th. And so we haven't even dropped the information to our clients yet. But basically, we have an amazing email marketer who used to run a $20 or $30 million email list before she stepped down and started her own company that unfortunately had a bad partner that helped ruin it. But she came back to us, and she's an amazingly smart person, and she wants to teach this. So we're going to be teaching people how to run their own email list. So if you're not a person who wants to give up your email list, and you're not even in the health industry, we can help in this aspect, because email marketing is really consistent across every single type of industry you're in. But we're going to be helping people understand how to understand their numbers, how to make sure that they're doing the correct type of email marketing and being able to monetize their list in a way that goes with their company values to make as much money as they can, of course, without selling their soul if they think that that's a thing to worry about. So that's the new exciting thing we're working on right now. And outside of that, it's really just about helping supplement business owners build their offers, scale their offers, and learn to be CEOs.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We've definitely learned a lot today, and we'll happily share this with everyone. I think this is a fantastic way to go about any sort of, not even just affiliate marketing, but it's a very nice strategy for any sort of entrepreneurial business. Taking the time, doing it right versus going after the quick fix. And thank you so much, and have an awesome day.
My pleasure. Thank you.